Okay, it appears that we have all commissioners here. And so I will call the meeting to order. The Michigan City Redevelopment Commission regular meeting, Monday, January 24th, 2022, 5 o'clock, plus a few, provided by Zoom this evening based upon the world we live in. So I will call the meeting to order. I will do a quick roll call. Angie Nelson-Deutsch.
Present.
Thank you. John Hendricks.
Here.
Ken Barrett. Ken? Ken? I think that was a present from Ken. Welcoming Kathy Dennis, the new Redevelopment Commission member.
Here.
Thank you. And Chris Chatfield present. So we do have a quorum. So what I'd like to do at this point, as we do every January, I will turn over the gavel to Skylar for election of officers. So Skylar, you have the seat, and in virtual world, I'll step over and you can sit in my chair.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Chris. At this point in time, I'm Scott York. I'm the executive director, and I'm going to open up the floor for election of officers, and we will be taking nominations for president at this point in time. So I'm going to open the floor up for nominations for president of the Redevelopment Commission.
I move that I move to nominate Chris Chatfield as president of the Redevelopment Commission.
Hey, Chris. Okay. Any other nominations? Anything? I'm sorry, I can't see, but any other nominations?
Okay.
Hands raised?
There are none.
Hearing none. All those in favor of Chris, I'll close the nominations. All those in favor of Chris retaining presidency of the Redevelopment Commission?
Aye. Aye. Oh, roll call. Do we have to do a roll call vote?
Yes.
I will do it.
I think so.
That works. Ms. Angie Nelson-Deutsch?
Aye.
Mr. John Hendricks?
Aye.
Perfect.
Miss Kathy Dennis?
Aye.
Sounds good.
All right. Mr. Ken Barrett? Did I lose Ken?
I'm here.
Ken, your vote for Chris as president? Sorry, I lost him again. I guess I would call Mr. Chatfield too.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. Yeah, it's a technical difficulty.
That's okay. Your vote for Chris retaining presidency of the commission?
Aye.
Okay. And Mr. Chatfield?
Aye.
Okay. Chris, I'll hand it back over to you, and we'll go through vice president and secretary.
Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate the the nod. It's been an honor the last year, and I appreciate the opportunity to lead us again this year. So I'll open up the vice president election.
Nominations for vice president?
Yes.
I move that we nominate John Hendricks as vice president.
Second.
Having a first and a second, any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll go through the roll call. Angie Nelson-Deutsch.
Aye.
John Hendricks.
Aye.
Ken Barrett.
Aye.
Kathy Dennis.
Aye.
Chris Chatfield, aye. John, congratulations.
Thank you.
I would offer the next election of officer, secretary of the Redevelopment Commission.
I nominate Angie Nelson Deitch.
Second.
Having a first and a second, any other nominations? Hearing none, I would go through a roll call. Angie Nelson Deutsch.
Aye.
John Hendricks.
Aye.
Ken Barrett.
Aye.
Kathy Dennis.
Aye.
Chris Chatfield, aye. Angie, congratulations. And we have acting secretary. Alan, can you help me with that one?
Isn't that always, Skylar, isn't that your position?
Yeah, I nominate Scott.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
By default, I'm secretary. I'm pretty positive, yes.
So we don't need to elect him, do we?
No, I think what we've always done with that is just in the event of just, it's really more pragmatic, I think, than anything else, that if Angie, for any reason, is unavailable to attest to meeting minutes or any other kind of document that we need, Skylar's available to fill in that capacity. And I think in the past, that's really all he's ever had to do.
Okay. Yep. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, so welcome to 2022, everybody. So we'll quickly try to go through the agenda this evening. Approval of minutes 12/13/21. Two items: executive session and regular meeting. I would ask for any corrections, deletions, or additions to said meeting minutes. Okay, hearing none. I'm sorry?
Move we approve the minutes.
Thank you.
Second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second. I would go to roll call. Angie Nelson Deitch.
Aye.
John Hendricks.
Aye.
Ken Barrett.
Aye.
Kathy Dennis.
Aye.
Chris Chatfield, aye. The ayes have it, and the minutes of the executive session and the regular meeting of 12/13/21 have been approved. Turn this over to Skylar, but the approval of claims 1/24/22.
Okay, these are the claims. In December 2021, we had payroll for CDBG reimbursables, staff, and commissioners. We also had, from our operating fund, we had the City of Michigan City reimbursement for annual accounting services for 2022. The Great American Financial, which is for December 2021 for our copier fee. We had Harbor Trust, the workers' comp deposit. We had Saranac Law Offices for a monthly retainer for December of 2021. In the North TIF Fund, we had American Structure Point for US 12 and Center Street fees, study and analysis. That was an old project, just so you know, and we paid out, I believe that was the final invoice that we were obligated to pay. August MAC, we had the Station Block Redevelopment Plan for 10/18/21 through 12/12/21. We had August MAC for 2021 investigations for Begley Concord. We had Baker Tilly for the arbitrage rebates for 2015 Wabash Street bond. We had Barnes and Thornburg for legal services in the North TIF and East TIF. We had HDR Engineering for the Station Block TOD. We had Neighborhood Capital for the 11th Street RFP for December of 2021. We had Neighborhood Capital for the Development Advisory Services. We had Saranac Law Offices for legal services in the North TIF, December 2021. We also had Wake Robbins for a facade grant reimbursable at 425 East 2nd Street. We had Wallach, Summers, and Haas for legal services for the Transit Center, our station block. We had Wallach, Summers, and Haas for legal services on 8th Street. And we had Wallach, Summers, and Haas for legal services on the You Are Beautiful site. In the South TIF, we had Haas and Associates for the South TIF Connectivity Project, Connectivity Improvements project that we're working on down there. And we also had Saranac Law Offices for legal services for the South TIF for December of 2021.
Can we clarify? The approval of claims was for December. However, the agenda says 1/24/22. I'm assuming that is just we're just clarifying that we're approving the 12 21 claims today.
Correct.
Okay.
Take us through the
Thank you.
year.
Yep.
Correct. And we would have had this done on our last commission, which would have been on this sooner, but we pushed back our date. Correct.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're clear with what we're approving. So thank you so much for that. So I would look for a motion to approve the claims as of today for 12.
I move to approve December 2021 claims.
Second.
Evan, the first and second, I would go down the roll call. Angie Nelson Deitch,
Aye.
John Hendricks,
Aye.
Ken Barron,
Aye.
Kathy Dennis,
Aye.
and Chris Chatfield, aye. So the ayes have it. So we have the approval of claims. Next on the agenda, approval of financial report. 11/30/21. Skylar?
So this is the most current financial report or balance sheet that we have. This is so in our cash operating account, we have $167,394.78. In the Southside TIF account, we have $7,709,407.86. In the Southside TIF debt reserve account, we have $336,029.11. In the Southside TIF capital account, we have $16,925.05. In the North End TIF account, we have $3,226,732.97. In the Northeast TIF account, we have $109,425.07. For a grand total of let me move on down. For loans receivable, we have a loan to the Eastside TIF from operating account for $21,028.49. We also have the local business loan fund, $133,333.00 for total assets of $11,720,276.33.
Move we approve the financials.
Second that.
Thank you, everybody. Having a first and a second, I'll go down the roll call. Angie Nelson Deutsch,
Aye.
John Hendricks,
Aye.
Ken Barron,
Aye.
Kathy Dennis,
Aye.
and Chris Chatfield, aye. And let's move the item number 8 up one slot, if we could, please. The declaratory resolution 1-22 for Eastside TIF. I'd just like to move that up if we could, to be respectful of everybody's time. So can I leave that to Skylar or Alan, please?
I think Randy's here, and I maybe just
Randy?
read that discussion.
Yeah, thank you.
Randy, you're muted.
Sorry about that.
We're having spaghetti.
Yeah. Well, no, I was trying to get her not to give it to me. It's anyway. You don't need to see me wolfing down food, but that can wait. So what this resolution does, this is for the expansion of the existing East Side Economic Development Area. So back in 2015, the Redevelopment Commission designated the East Side Economic Development Area as an economic development area, and this would expand it. And as I understand it, basically we are expanding it into territory that was recently annexed by the City of Michigan City. As you may know, the Redevelopment Commission has authority within the boundaries of the city. And so the territory that is proposed to be added to the area pursuant to this declaratory resolution in 2015 could not be added, but I think, and Skylar can comment on this, but I think the intent of the city is that this will become part of the proposed economic development area to allow for future development, not only in the existing area, but this area as well. And so in addition to adding the territory, there's also a plan amendment. There's an Exhibit A to the resolution that shows the proposed, that's in the pink, and the existing is in the blue in terms of the boundaries. The resolution also approves an amendment to the plan, the economic development plan that was approved back in 2015 to do two things. One, to add a project description, and this project description, it takes into account an incentive that is more typical these days for economic development, and that would allow you to use tax increment revenues to offset payments to developers through what's called a TIF EDC bond or an EDC TIF bond, where, and I think we've talked about these in the past, but it would allow for that economic development mechanism to be used in this area. It was not included in 2015, but it would be included now, and that would be included for the entire area, not just the expansion. The other item would be to add property to the acquisition list. Back in 2015, it was less than clear exactly what property the commission may or may not acquire. And just to step back for a minute, it's the requirement of the redevelopment statute that the redevelopment commission in its plan place property on a so-called acquisition list anytime the commission thinks it may acquire the property in the future. That harkens back to the days when the redevelopment commission had the power of eminent domain, and the statute required the commission to give that heads up very, very early so that the public would have a sense of what's happening. Today, under current law, the redevelopment commission does not have the power of eminent domain at all, but that vestige of the statute still remains. So the redevelopment commission would have to identify any property, put it on the acquisition list for to the extent it thinks it may acquire the property in the future. And so Skylar had identified the parcels that are attached to that Exhibit B as potential parcels that may be acquired in the future. To the extent that you ultimately determined to acquire one or more parcels, you would need to have the property appraised. You would approve the appraised value, and then you would send an offer letter. And at that, as I'm sure you've done that before. But again, we're not intending on doing that now. I just want to make that clear for the record. All we're doing now is identifying these parcels as potential properties in the future that could be acquired. If we don't do it now, we would have to repeat this entire process. And so in an effort to be a little bit more shovel ready for any potential economic development projects, most communities are trying to identify the parcels early that could be potential economic development projects, so you don't have to go through this process twice, amend it to include it, and then later on have to go through the same process and spend money to do that, to add it to the parcel list. So just because it's on the list does not mean that you will in fact acquire it. And if you do determine to take some action to acquire it, you have to offer not less than the average of the two appraisals, and you cannot proceed with eminent domain. So it's not as if a property owner would not have the ability to negotiate with the redevelopment commission in the future. But with that, I would just say that the process would be, if you choose to approve the resolution tonight, it next goes before the Plan Commission, then it would go to the Common Council for approval, and then it would come back to the Redevelopment Commission for a public hearing. And as part of that public hearing, because we are expanding the area, including the TIF allocation area, there would be a tax impact study that would be prepared by Baker Tilly, and that would be sent all over the overlapping tax units. And then we would be back, if we stayed on schedule, we would anticipate being back before you in April for the final action in the public hearing. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Attorney Rampala, please?
I can just make one more point to what Randy said, and Skylar, correct me if I'm wrong, but the identified parcels, and I think there were 12 of them, are all the parcels that were involved during the annexation of this area in conversation between the elected property owners and the city, correct?
That is correct. We only included the parcels, and with respect to, I think they have an expectation that they are going to be on this list, and so that we could in the future, if we so choose, to be shovel ready for projects, as Randy alluded to. So we included them. This was part of during annexation, we had to do a fiscal plan, and in that fiscal plan, we had made certain commitments to property owners, landowners there, that we would pursue the expansion. Well, there was a lot of other things as well, but one of them was pursuing the expansion of this east tip to encompass the newly annexed area for economic development purposes.
I'd ask if there are any additional. I'm sorry. Any additional questions for Attorney Rampolla or Alan Cernick?
I move that. Are you waiting on a motion to accept the resolution?
Yes, please.
I move that we I move that we approve the resolution that is presented for the, and I'm trying to pull this specific language up. So,
well, I think we could just say that the declaratory, the resolution of the East Side TIF expansion,
yes,
would be sufficient. Is that
okay?
Alan?
So
You okay with
yes.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
resolution
so I move for the,
1-22.
Yeah, that's fine.
thank you.
Second.
Having a first and a second on item number 8, I would go down the roll call. Angie Nelson Deitch.
Aye.
John Hendricks.
Aye.
Ken Barron.
Aye.
Kathy Dennis.
Aye.
And Chris Chatfield, aye. The ayes have it. And item number 8, the resolution 122 for Eastside TIF expansion has been approved. Randy, hey, thanks so much as always. Your explanation and how we get where we get is so important. So thank you for your time.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. And Attorney Cernick and Attorney Rampolla, if you send the resolution over, I'll sponsor it for the City Council.
Okay, we'll prepare it and we'll get the resolution for the Plan Commission done, but I'll get that done as well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Enjoy your dinner.
Thank you.
Going back, facade grants. So there are 3 this evening: 815 Washington Street, 110 West 9th Street, and 906 Franklin. And I think we're going to turn that over to Aaron.
Yes, Mr. Borngraber will be doing the presentations tonight, and I'll kind of fill in blanks where I need to.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Aaron Borngraber, Assistant Planning Director. Caleb, I'm just going to request clearance to share the screen.
Yes.
And just to confirm, is everyone seeing what currently says the City of Michigan City Redevelopment North End Facade Program?
Yes.
So the first request is for 815 Washington Street. They are currently doing the improvements right now. The siding, I believe, is probably about 60 to 70% done. So the request here is simply, the initial request was approved on June 14, 2021, and they are requesting an extension and expect it to be completed by March 1st of this year. And then staff is recommending an extension for the work to be completed by June 13, 2022. And the proposed date actually matches a previous extension granted by the commission. And that is all I have regarding this application.
Aaron, so they're requesting to March, but staff is going ahead and make a recommendation to push it out to June. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's good. 'Cause I talked to the owner right prior to executive session, and that's what they had requested, making sure that obviously you got the memo. So, yep.
I make a motion to approve this facade grant.
Second.
Sorry. So having a first and a second for the facade grant for 815 Washington Street. Having a first and a second, I would ask for roll call. Angie Nelson Deitch.
Aye.
John Hendricks.
Aye.
Ken Barron.
Aye.
Kathy Dennis. Kathy?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Nope, that's okay. Yeah. And Chris Chatfield, aye. The ayes have it. So we've approved the facade grant for 815 Washington Street. Next, Aaron.
The next one is for 110 West 9th Street. So this is actually a request for reimbursement. They actually have done all the work. They received all their approvals from the Historic Preservation Commission, done the work. I believe there was a mix-up with really the associate planner and with COVID, just so that the process is kind of just different here. So they had a projected cost of $49,000. $28,500 was for the hipped roof, and then $16,500 was for the flat roof, and then they had $4,000 for the gutter. So the total eligible cost based on the application is $15,770.50, and 60% of that would be a reimbursement from the Redevelopment Commission of $9,462.30. And this is based on the facade application. For example, the flat roof is not, because it's not visible. And then there is a hipped and flat roof section. And based on using beacon and trying to get an idea of how much is actually visible from the right of way, it's about 42%, and that's why the value of $9,460.30 is being recommended for reimbursement by the Redevelopment Commission.
Skylar, any comment?
I guess my only comments are, we haven't funded flat. I mean, we have had situations like this before. My comments are mainly related to typically these come in, we put them through redevelop, we put them through Historic Preservation Commission if they're in the district, they get their approvals, and then we approve them prior to beginning any work. I think there was some mix-up with, we had some staff changing. Lily left us for another job, and another job opportunity for her. So she kind of left us, and I'm not saying, I don't think it was her fault or anything of that nature. I think there was just a transition between Lily leaving and Aaron coming in. They weren't sure what to do with respect to how things are with work, with product and product availability nowadays. They wanted to go ahead and get this done before they blew kind of their contractual obligations. So I think that they just kind of moved forward thinking that we would go ahead and approve this. Honestly, I had Aaron go out there and check everything they did with respect to the historic preservation approval. They did do everything that they were supposed to do. I don't think that they haven't done anything contrary to what was approved. So, I would ask that, they have made some major investments at this location. I do think that, we could, if the Redevelopment Commission so chooses, we could make an exception.
I'm in a meeting. Can I call you when it's over?
So that's kind of my thoughts right now. But obviously, I'll leave it up to the commission to make that decision. As far as the flat roofs, Alan, I was going to talk to you about that this afternoon. Have we ever done that before? I feel like we have, but I don't know if there's precedence for that. But obviously, it's up to the Redevelopment Commission to make that decision.
There certainly would be no prohibition for it, that's for sure.
Yeah, so my gut feeling on this is that the flat roof, it's part of the overall structure of what we're looking at. And look, these guys have done a great job in working on their project. And I don't, the flat roof piece of it to me is part of what maybe we need to look at in what our facade grant provides, kind of moving forward. So I'm in favor of this. And those types of things, I'm in favor of this. So we'll go from there.
All right, I move to approve the $9,462.30 for reimbursement.
I second that.
So having the first and a second.
So wait a second. Can I interject real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Chris, if you're in favor of okay, Aaron, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm so sorry. This is complicated over the phone. Aaron, was the 9,000 inclusive of the flat roof, or did that exclude that from the calculation of the 60%? Does that make sense?
The $9,000 is strictly off of what staff's determination of eligibility based on the application requirements.
Okay, so it did not include the flat roof.
Or all the hip roofs. And so if the Redevelopment Commission would like to reimburse the 60% for the entire project, that total value is $29,400.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. If we're going to include the flat roof, then we'd have to recalculate the and I don't want to override the motion. There's been a motion made. I'm just asking, is that the pleasure of the whole commission, or is that just kind of the thought of one member? I just want to be clear of what direction we're going.
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
So what we were presented, that is on the screen, is that the total project cost was $49,000, and it broke it down, and it said that the eligible project cost was $15,770.50, and that of that portion, only that $9,000 that is eligible, and that's the information. That's the only information that we've been presented, and that was the recommendation from the staff. So I stand by the motion that I made.
Okay, good enough. Fair enough.
I agree.
So the second still stands. I'm sorry I interjected. Just making sure. I wanted to make sure we clarify. Okay.
So what's the total dollar amount we are going to reimburse?
$9,462.30.
So we're not going to fund any of the flat roof.
Correct. Also, I do want to note for this particular property, there is several other pieces of item that likely need to be addressed in the future. And so there's easily another $21,000 that the property owner can use outside of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Aaron, for that clarification. So I'll go back to, we have a first and a second. Go down the roll call. Angie Nelson Deitch.
Aye.
John Hendricks.
Aye.
Ken Barrett.
Aye.
Kathy Dennis.
Aye.
Chris Chatfield, aye. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. And Aaron, we'll look forward to the next iteration of this one. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the 906 Franklin Street.
So this is a request for partial reimbursement, as well as so first of all, this is 904 to 906 Franklin Street. A 6-month extension was granted on November 15th meeting for the work to be completed by June 13th of this year. And the property owner is requesting partial reimbursement in the amount of $6,077.15, which is just going to be the first reimbursement. The total cost up here that I'm highlighting right now is the total reimbursement by the commission. This is for the painting work. These are just a copy of their redacted checks. And this was the request for the reimbursement for the painting work. And the applicant then provides some photos. So this is a before, and this is the after. So it was a wonderful paint job. And so staff is recommending approval of a reimbursement in the amount of $6,700. I will say that right correctly. $6,077.15. And the property owner, I believe, is on Zoom right now.
Motion to approve the $6,077.15 for 904 to 906 Franklin Street facade program.
Or
Second.
Thank you so much. We have first and a second. So the approval for $6,077.15 on 904 to 906 Franklin Street. Angie Nelson Deitch.
aye.
John Hendricks.
Aye.
Ken Barrett.
Aye.
Kathy Dennis.
Aye.
And Chris Chatfield, aye. Ayes have it. Aaron, thanks so much for your hard work on this, and we'll look forward to talking soon.
You're very welcome, Commission, and I would appreciate it if you don't let John Hendricks go at 6 o'clock for the Historic Preservation Commission tonight.
I'm working very hard to get this done so he can go. So we're
Thank
on
you,
it.
Aaron.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
So hey, I'm gonna do a real quick change. I'd like to let some folks go. Let's move to number 10, large cat exhibit update and approvals. Skylar.
I think correct me if I'm wrong, is Phil with us tonight? I can't see the board. Is Phil with us, just in case we have questions?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, great. I'll just introduce this. You may, a few years back, probably more like 3 years back, we commissioned a design and study for, and Phil, if I say anything wrong, please correct me, please, for engineering of the Big Cats exhibit at the zoo. The idea was to expand that exhibit to allow us to keep the big cats because of the changing federal regulations regarding large cats and keeping of them. So we commissioned an engineering document. I believe Hoffman Associates did that for us, if I'm not mistaken. And we had kind of preliminary engineering bids at that time. Now they have went out for total construction bids at this point in time, and those bids have come back slightly over what was anticipated, probably due to many factors in the world as we know it right now. Price, supply, and demand, construction costs are up, and material is up as well. So what's happening is we're trying to make sure that we can complete this project and that we don't have to split it apart. It was mentioned that we might split it apart into two different pieces, and the fear of splitting it apart is that during the time frame of completing phase 1 and then completing phase 2, we risk losing one or two of the large cats that we have because we won't have a exhibit space that is large enough to allow us to keep them. So that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Phil to make sure that I didn't totally slaughter that explanation. What is being requested of us tonight is an additional $100,000 in pledge to the large cat exhibit. That's what's being asked of the commission tonight. So Phil, please, hopefully I did that justice. And if you want to fill in any blanks, please feel free to take the floor.
Thank you, Skylar, and good evening, commissioners. Skylar, you said everything very well. The only other downside of splitting the project into two parts is you've got mobilization and demobilization costs for that, which just add to the project cost. I'll just add one, we're thankful and grateful for the $250,000 that the Redevelopment Commission promised and put towards this fund in September. And just to give you a flavor of what other funding and how we went about getting this, we've got American Rescue Plan funds for $300,000, Riverboat funds for $300,000. The Redevelopment Commission approved $250,000. We use endowment fund from Blue Chip Casino. We get $100,000 every year. We're using $300,000 we've accumulated for that. And then we really started scrambling. We've got Zoo Society gave fundraisers for $12,300. We received checks from the boat race. WHM gave us checks in 2 consecutive years totaling $44,500. The Men in Trust donated $10,000. We've got Zoo gifts and donations for $63,000. In addition to that, we're going to go ahead in front of the City Council at their next meeting asking that we can move $172,000 that we've accumulated in our concession fund for future projects to be used towards a big cat project. So it's basically we have the money saved for other projects. We're going to reallocate it to the big cat projects so we can get this done. So as you can see, it's been a scramble to accumulate the amount of money needed for this project, but we're hopeful that you'll consider our request for an additional $100,000 tonight. Thank you.
Phil, thanks so much. Oh, I'm sorry, Ken, go ahead.
What's the total cost of the project?
We had 3 bids, and the lowest bid was from Holiday Construction Group for $1,670,000. The bids were within a pretty tight range. The high bid was $1,793,000. The middle bid was $1,751,000, and again the low bid was $1,670,000.
And how many cats are we talking about?
Off the top of my head, I'd say there's 4, but
I think that's right.
I'm pretty sure it is.
So by giving us money we keep 4, or?
Sure, that it would house at least 4 cats.
Okay.
The lions and tigers, the larger cats.
Yeah, thank you.
Ken, by giving this money, this is Skylar, by giving this money, we take out jeopardy of losing one of the cats, because if we have to, if we don't do this project and we have to cut it down or whittle it down to something smaller, it would only allow us to keep so many cats, and it probably wouldn't be, it will not be the number we have. And then 2, if we bid it and we phase it, we risk potentially losing, and then you have the mobilization and demobilization. So right now, what's being proposed allows us to keep what we have.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very much in favor of this. We need to support the zoo. It's an economic, and every year, if we look at the numbers, and we should, that the zoo continues to increase their number of attendees, the number of new memberships, and so I think this is worthwhile. And what I have some trepidation on the fact that the zoo has to use some of its, or the park department has to use some of its concession money and other monies to complete this project. But I think it's from our perspective, a very, very, very worthwhile project. So I would open it up for any comments.
I could just also continue to set that record, following up on what Chris just said. We previously made a finding when we gave the original appropriation for the expansion of the Big Cat exhibit as well as, so it's bringing in conformity with new federal regulations, that this big cat exhibit is an attraction. The zoo is an attraction. These all go towards economic development. And so that the expenditure that's being made, should you approve this, is certainly proper within the type of expenditures we make related to economic development.
Yeah, thank you, Alan, for that clarification. That's terribly important. Thank you.
This is Kathy. I think too we should commend the zoo and the park department for all the other funds that they have raised to go towards this project. With not all their hard work for doing this, they would probably be asking us for a lot more in the way of funding. So I think they should be commended.
Well, thank you for that. And if I may say, Shannon East and the park department really pulled some rabbits out of the hat to get us to this point. So the kudos need to go to Shannon.
Congratulations. Well, we appreciate all the work that she's put in for this too. So
thank you.
I move to approve the $100,000 for the big cat exhibit.
A second.
I second that.
So a motion in 2 seconds for the next step. I would go to the roll call. Angie Nelson Deitch.
Aye.
John Hendricks.
Aye.
Ken Barron.
Aye.
Kathy Dennis.
Aye.
Chris Chatfield, aye. The ayes have it. Congratulations, Mr. Latchford, and we look forward to. Mr. Latchford, I would ask, or Phil, I would ask, is there a timeline on getting the project complete?
We believe the construction will start in the fall of 2022, just so to be less disruptive to the summertime, our peak period, and then maybe be complete early to midsummer of 2023.
Good. So the cats won't be displaced. They'll still be there this summer. Good.
Right.
All right. Outstanding.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thanks for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Skylar, I'll go back to your beautiful update.
The only update I have right now is we are still waiting on comments back from the Developers Council for that project. Yeah, that's really all I have right now. I was hoping we would have a better update and something before the commission for approval, but we're still waiting. We've gotten most comments back, but we're still waiting on the main developers legal counsel to get us their comments back. And at that point in time, those will go directly to Alan and our attorney in Indianapolis. So that's all I really have right now. But we are still moving forward with that, and hopefully we'll have something. Hopefully we'll have our agreement back soon.
Just to supplement that, I'm just checking my emails. A little before 1 today, I did receive a response from Barry. I've not obviously had a chance to read that, but we'll do that first thing tomorrow morning and update you guys accordingly.
Thank you.
Our goal was to really push for this meeting to have it done, but I think that just I did hear that maybe someone had a wedding this past weekend, so I'm sure that pretty much probably consumed the weekend rather than this project. So
yeah.
Do you want me to go straight into Station Block as well? Go ahead.
Yes, please. Yep.
Okay. So tonight, I just want to give a short update on the Station Block, and I do have Ms. Ruth Warama, who has been just doing such an excellent job leading us through these very complicated, not a very complicated process. I would say she makes the complications much less, in my opinion. But these are complicated projects that we're working on right now, or proposals that have come back to us. But first and foremost, I want to thank our selection committee. As you know, we put out an RFP and we chose a selection committee. I wanted to choose people who were ingrained in Michigan City, but also have different diverse backgrounds that I thought brought a good discussion. And I think we had very good discussions with regard to reviewing these proposals that we got back from the RFP. And we had complicated, tough discussions as well, and complicated. Maybe not everybody agreed, or maybe it was hard to hear certain things, but I thought that all the discussion was important, and I think it got us to a point where we made a good decision. And I just want to call their names out and just say, I really appreciate your time. It wasn't, I told you it wouldn't be time consuming, but I feel like I consumed a lot of your time with this, and I just want to be, I'll just tell you how appreciative I am of that, of you letting us consume your time with a project that's just so important to Michigan City and the region. And I want to thank Mr. Phil Latchford for his time, Ms. Rose Tejeda, Mr. Matt Kubik, and Mr. John Hendricks, Councilman Brian Dabney, Mr. Clarence Hulse, John Hendricks, Chris Chatfield, Mayor Perry, first and foremost. And I want to thank also our other kind of what are they? I can't remember what we call them, but also to sit on that. They
our ex officio members.
Ex officio members were Mr. Mike Nolan from NICD and Ms. Sherry Ziller from the RDA, both very important partners of ours. And I just want to thank all the members that I just called out. We wouldn't be making the decision. We wouldn't have made decisions that we have made without your comments. And like I said, these were, thank you for all your comments. Some were hard to hear, some we needed to hear, but all of them just as equally important. So thank you so much. Ruth, I'm going to hand it over to you to kind of give us an update and kind of walk us through where we're at, and I'll leave it up to you. Thank you.
No, thank you. Well, as all of you know, there couldn't be a more transformational project before you. It's rare that a city has a chance to do something that has this much import to your future, and I have to absolutely second what Skylar was saying. Not only did this selection committee, review committee, not only were they committed to Michigan City, they met 4 times since December, since your last meeting. They've met 4 times. The weekend before Christmas, they reviewed extensive proposals. And they are, as Skylar said, they are discussing and taking very seriously this responsibility. The discussions have been thoughtful and respectful and balanced, that reflects, sort of this really wonderful place that is Michigan City. There were some hard discussions, but they were always respectful, and they were always coming from a place that reflected something true about Michigan City and Michigan City's best self. So it's been a privilege and sort of shocking to think of how hard they worked and continue to work in just these already very busy months. So where we stand now is at the last session, we have a preferred developer selected with an alternate. The preferred developer has been asked, is the preferred developer subject to responding to some follow-up questions that the review committee put forward. We will be getting those this Friday. And the review committee will reconvene on Tuesday to make a decision. Have they responded in a way that is in accordance with what the review committee and thinks is best for Michigan City. So if they are not, then we will go to our alternate and see if that group passes the standards that are set by the review committee. So right now we're in a little bit of a hold until we find out what happens on Friday and then consider it next Tuesday. That was really all I wanted to say, Skylar. Was there anything else that you'd like me to mention?
No, I think that's just
oven.
I think that that's the reality of where we're at right now. We're kind of in a holding pattern, and until we hear these responses back, which are expected back on Friday, I think that's just where we're at. But I definitely wanted to keep everyone informed of where we're at and what process we're going through, and like I said, just and make sure that we thank the selection committee as well, because they've been just excellent. So. Thank you. And Ruth and Terry, you guys have been wonderful. Your team has been amazing as well. So thank you as well.
Thank you.
Yes, so Skylar, to reiterate, this ride has been great. But from my perspective, we could have waded through the mess. But without Ruth and Terry, her team, and the fortitude and her knowledge and wisdom to get us through this, we couldn't have done it. So Ruth, I think we have a great team. You added to that team and made us great. So thank you.
Wow. Well, you made my day. Thank you.
Well, so we're on the so we're kind of on the cusp of a really great things, and it's fun to be on this ride. So thanks for helping us through it. We'll get through it, and it's a lot of fun. So. None of this has been easy. And Ruth, you were right. Hard discussions, good wisdom, good people, good discourse, all those good things. So I'm looking forward to the next 3 or 4 years. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ruth. So, next on the agenda, I guess the approval, number 12, approval letter of engagement for Brian Casey, and I'll push that off onto Skylar.
This is going to be something that I'm going to hand it off to Alan to handle. I'm going to hand it off to Alan and let him kind of give a rundown of what this is.
Back in 2009, the Redevelopment Commission entered into a development agreement with development relocation agreement with Bloxham with respect to their factory down there on Trail Creek, and to have certain inducements and agreements that would permit them to move to a new location. And so for the past 12 years, 13 years, better part of 13 years now, that's pretty much remained dormant. However, and we've gotten to the point of where we talk with Bloxham with respect to that agreement, and we've reached an impasse as to implementation of that agreement. The agreement calls for, there's a section of the agreement that calls for a binding arbitration by an agreed upon mediator, and if we can't agree on a mediator, the court would appoint one. Given the fact that I have never done a binding arbitration, I've done mediation, but not binding arbitration, given the fact that the amount of money that we're talking about on this particular agreement meaning being somewhere in the area of $11 million, it probably was not something that we want to trust to a mere rookie. I asked Randy Rampolla if there's somebody at Barnes and Thornburg who have experience in doing binding arbitration, representing parties in that. He recommended an attorney in his firm by the name of Brian Casey. I have talked with Brian. We've staffed a case. I've shared with him my pleadings that I've made, opposing counsel's pleadings. I've shared with him the agreement, various kinds of orders that have been in place, and then we really just kind of touched the surface. We've got a lot more work we would need to do, but certainly came away with, from that conversation, that clearly knowledgeable, not only in the area of arbitration, but also specifically in the area of contract law. So in order to engage the services of an attorney, we need to approve a letter of engagement. I sent that to you last Friday. This is basically the same agreement with some modifications that we approved for Attorney Randy Rampolla several years ago when he moved over to Barnes and Thornburg. Again, there were modifications that have been made by the overall law firm. For the most part, it's pretty much identical to what we agreed with Randy. So what I'm looking for tonight is to approve the letter of engagement with Brian, and then we'll start working with him in depth as to preparing a case for arbitration on the either enforcement of the agreement, nullification of the agreement, or somewhere in between.
Any questions for Alan on this? My only commentary on this is I think this is very important. This is a long-standing issue that we've had, and there's really, from my perspective at this point, as talking to Alan and Attorney Cernick and Schuyler, we need to get to the next step. So, not many options at this point.
I move that we approve the letter of engagement to move forward.
Second.
Having a first and a second, Angie Nelson Deitch.
Aye.
John Hendricks has had to leave to go to Historic Review Board. Ken Barron.
Aye.
Kathy Dennis.
You're muted, Kathy.
Aye.
Thank you, Kathy. And Chris Chatfield, aye. So the ayes have it. We will get that letter of engagement signed and move forward. And Randy, if you're still on, thank you so much for your help on this referral. So appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Dare I say, number 13, report of legal counsel.
Lucky number 13.
Yeah, well, for whom?
The only other thing to report, as you know, we continue to move along with the Trail Creek environmental cleanup, moving steady on that, continue to do testing. We have, in identifying the stability of the plume, both horizontally and vertically, which again is more progress. The only thing that I want to bring to more the public's attention, as well as to the commission, is that if they haven't been put up yet, they will be put up relatively soon. Those temporary, ugly, temporary fences to blocking off a certain part of the area. Recent testing, and this would be right along the bottom of Jernigan's Hill, but the concentrations of contaminations in that area from the most recent testing does exceed IDEM screening levels. So therefore, and I've talked with the sanitary department, we'll be putting up temporary fencing to prevent people from accessing that area and the water to make sure that this controlling of the seep is accounted for. I don't need approval for that, just wanted to bring that to your attention so that if you're driving by there and you see those ugly orange temporary fencing. That's what the reason for it is. And that's all I got.
Thank you. I'll go to Skylar. Oh, no.
One last thing, the usual thing of just making a record of the fact there was an executive session held before this meeting. Note items were discussed that were contrary to the open door law, and no decisions were made on any of them.
Yeah, thank you, Alan. Skylar? Number 14.
At this point in time, I don't have any further comments. I think we have some good projects on the horizon right now. I'm just working really hard to get those to a final agreement, and hopefully we'll have those in the by our next commission meeting. And then I'll just remind everybody our next commission meeting is on February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. So that's our next meeting, our next scheduled meeting. Yeah, that's all I really have.
Thanks, Skylar. I'll go to public comment this evening. Any public comment? Hearing no.
Caleb, anybody?
Dahlia, thank you so much. No public comment. We'll close public comment. Commissioners' comments. So I'll go down the same same list. Angie Deitch.
I don't have any.
John Hendricks is not here. Ken Barron.
I'd like to welcome Kathy Dennis to the commission.
Yeah.
And compliment Michael Mack on the work he put in last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Ken, that's really important. We need to continue to thank people that serve, and Michael. We all, majority of us work, and we also when we serve, that's additional time away from our families and those things. So I appreciate that. Kathy, welcome, and any comments this evening?
Thank you so much for the welcome, Ken. Thank you. I think I used to sit between Ken and Alan on the Redevelopment Commission a while ago when I had fewer gray hair. I'm excited to be back. I think it's, of all the commissions and groups that I've served on, this is the one that I find the most challenging and the most interesting. So I'm glad to be here.
Kathy, I would agree with you that we try to do good work, and we have ability. So I appreciate that. My only comment is, well, Kathy, welcome, and we look forward to your wisdom and experience kind of moving forward. I do believe that the body of work that Skylar is working on in trying to transform Michigan City, it's impressive, and there's nothing easy about it every day. He works very hard, so I appreciate what we do as commissioners to support him. So thank you. As Skylar said, the next meeting is February 14th. That may pose some problems for some people.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, so we may modify that a little bit, just because that is a very important day for some of us. So we'll be back in touch. I would look for a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
So moved.
Second.
So,
Everybody's in favor, and so everybody have a great day. And folks that are on this call that are outside of the commission and the group, thank you very much for your participation. Good evening.
Thanks. Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.